Hey co-creators, Vanessa Simpkins here with you today. I'm sharing with you some tips from this I Can Do It seminar that I went to last week. And today I want to talk to you about this new guy that I'm reading, Robert Holden. He wrote this book called Authentic Success. And fantastic, fantastic speaker, very down to earth. Love his book. As you know me, I'm always into anything that has authentic written on it. So I'm going to share with you some of the notes that I took because they are fantastic, and I have a feeling that this is really going to resonate with you as it has with me. So he talks about the 6 principles to authentic success. Number 1, success is knowing who you are. And he says, hold on to the gorgeousness of who you are. And, you know, we forget what the soul feels like when we take the self-image of the ego. We forget, we begin to feel inadequate for our life's purpose. And the ego is an incomplete picture of who we are. When we forget who we are, we forget happiness and success. Then we start looking for happiness. And it's actually a denial of ourselves. We want to recondition. We want recognition because we aren't recognizing ourselves. Ooh. There is not a single conflict that doesn't ask, who am I? So, you know, an authentic success principle, number 1 is really starting a spiritual practice. Not to make ourselves better, but to make contact with ourselves. To practice being without going anywhere, being without doing, being without trying to accumulate more. So well said. So for those of you who do have a spiritual practice, kudos to you. Some of you know that I've been doing yoga for the last 10 plus years. It's my spiritual practice in the mornings. Spiritual practice could involve journaling, it could involve writing, it could involve being still, doing a meditation practice. And here again, you know, when we're talking about success, we're always talking about going back and having a spiritual practice. If I deny my light, I will look for it in the world and I won't find it. Wow! If I deny my light, I will look for it in the world and I won't find it. Be as God made you and you will set the world on fire. So the first key is really remembering who we are. Second key is vision, remembering what is real. In a world of front page news, fast track careers, designer clothing, and tragic sports results, you have to remember what is real. And the world is speeding up, but the chase for success, love, and happiness is taking longer and longer. And he says, you know, look at speed dating. Have you ever heard of this, right? Speed dating. Is it really? This guy, Robert Holden, is hilarious, when he talks. Hilarious speaker. And he says, you know, this all got started when, with Go Marketing. You know, you wash your hair and you have like this wash and go, right? It's like a 2-in-1 shampoo, conditioner, saves like 3 minutes off of your shower. And then you grab a coffee to go, a salad to go, everything's to go where, right? It's all this kind of pressure, everything is speeding up. And you know, when you go faster, you lose yourself. When you go fast, you lose yourself, and so stopping then becomes your spiritual practice. And he says, you know, you have to figure out what is real, what is true in my life, what is important. And inherent truth about humankind is that the faster we run, the more we get lost. So you have to ask yourself, what is real, what is important, what do I love, what is my joy, who do I want to be? And what do I want to do with my wild and crazy life? So success principle number 3 is, you know, success is learning to discern between fake busyness and true purpose. And he talks a lot about this. I'm about a third of the way through his book, which is fantastic. Again, it's called Authentic Success by Robert Holden. Essential lessons and practices from the world's leading coaching program on success intelligence. And he talks a lot about, you know, the busy generation. My father would have loved this guy. It's not enough to be busy. You know, now we have permanent busyness. And permanent busyness is not success. It's usually confusion and distraction. So, you know, you have to ask yourself, what got in the way of your life? And he says a lot of people just say, you know, I got busy. It's this like, and then you have competitive busyness. And the purpose of your life is not to be as busy as possible. Because busyness is the biggest obstacle to spiritual growth, right? People say, I would have a spiritual practice if I had more time. People have terminal busyness, and actually the Chinese word, the word for busy in Chinese is heart and killing. Ooh, heart and killing. So you need to know the difference between, being busy and having purpose. So you want to ask yourself these questions, how do I make myself unnecessarily busy? What do I lose when I am permanently busy? What is my busyness defending me against? Is it letting go of control, God, unconditioned nature of our soul that wants to remember it instead of really relaxing into my being? What good things could happen if I was less busy? Know yourself. Have a definition of success. You need to meditate 30 minutes to 1 hour every day, or else you bypass the heart. There is a prayer that lives in the center of your heart. If you pray, it will change your life. How does it begin? That was a quote. So success is not about driving yourself harder. It's about letting go of what blocks your heart. And I talk about this in my book as well. It's so true. The more you push yourself on something, the slower it seems to happen. When you push and force things, you're not aligning yourself. So life is hard when you have a success contract written by the ego. And basically it says, you can have success. You have to go for it, before you can relax, before we can be successful, before we can be happy. So the ego is always trying to get in there and tell us that, we have to work so hard. And he says, the work ethic really blocks grace and inspiration. Inspiration can flow through us if we are open and if we are ready. And I think this is really what, the core of having a spiritual practice is. It's, opening yourself up to this source of creative flow, this inspiration, God, whatever you want to call it. Let the personality relax so the soul can come out and do its work. Ooh, I like that. It's often in the parts of your life where you are working the hardest that work the least. I like that one too. So then we have all these ethics, right? We have the suffer ethic. It's a law. If you believe that, it makes your life harder than it has to be. No pain, no gain. Relinquish the idea that it has to be painful. Then you have the sacrifice ethic. We have to sacrifice everything for success. And each member of the busy generation has to be willing to sacrifice busyness in order to experience true success. I like that one. Well said. The independence rule, your success is your service to the world. And that's the fourth key, service. Authentic success requires service. You have to move from ambition to meaning. Moving from ambition to meaning. And this is new because, in our society we're taught to go, go, go and do and, have all this motivation and go for it. And it can often be for nothing, right? Have this false sense of busyness, but we're not really accomplishing anything with true meaning and purpose. And in the Bhagavad Gita it says, in the beginning the Creator, dear God, he says, dear God, please use me. Amen. Please use me as your vehicle for service. So the fifth principle is healing principle. And this has to do with the concept of failure, again, which I talk a lot about in my book, and he talks a lot about too. He says failure isn't fatal, it just feels that way sometimes. And you need to have a failure policy. Work with it and live with it. Because every failure is a sign up for higher learning. And, if you can, I often say this, if you can fail faster, you fail forward. You fail your way to success. And in this, we were raised as kids not to fail, right? To get it right. And so we have this big fear that, oh my God, if I fail, then I'm a failure. And I write a lot about that. I talk about it in my book. Actually, the title, From Bankrupt to $900 a Day, states very clearly that, I went through this massive failure and I didn't die. And he talks a lot about it here. He says, souls don't have dark nights. The ego does. So relax into the arms of our soul. We don't need to go faster. We need to slow down, relax, and listen. Basic trust and awareness that life doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. So to the soul, go to the soul for inspiration. Life loves you. It's hard to see that when you are not loving yourself. Forgiveness is our way home, our way forward. Woo! Love it. So that's success principle number 5, forgiveness, healing. And then the last principle is the purpose principle. So if your definition of success has little or no measure of love in it, get another definition. So do you have a definition? What is your definition of success? Maybe you can share that and post that here at the end of the video. That'd be great to see. Love dedication before you die, but before you dedicate your life to a person, marriage, family, cooperation, political party, peace, religion, revolutionary, spiritual practice, make one other dedication first. First, dedicate yourself to love. Decide to let your love be your intention, your purpose, and your point. And then let love inspire you, support you, and guide you. And that is really authentic success. Live your love. So there are some notes. I know this is a long video, but I just love this author, the speaker, Robert Holden, Authentic Success, Essential Lessons and Practices from the World's Leading Coaching Program on Success Intelligence. I'm about a third of the way through the book. I love it. A message really resonates with me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. Just some quick tips sharing here with you. And I wish you guys full power to your success. Until next time.